Hello guys, thanks for joining this video and I welcome you in Ramasser group, and this video is how we are going to learn Android application in our training course. Okay, so in our training course we are going to develop Android applications, and we will learn how we can develop Android application and how we can publish them so that our live users can check the application, they can use the applications. Okay, so guys, let me introduce with my introduction first. My name is Naveen and I works for Android since 5 to 6 years. In Android application development, my experience is 6 years, but I works on various technologies like different platforms are available there for mobile application development. Okay, so we works here for multiple clients and we works here for multiple companies. Okay, so let me start you with how we going to start application development. Okay, so to develop the application, very first what we need is we will be requiring Android Studio as an ID in our operating system. Okay, before that, let me tell you what the minimum configuration required for Android application development. Okay. So in Android we can develop applications in any operating system like MacBook, Macintosh. We can develop in Windows, we can develop in Linux. Okay, so what the minimum configuration is, it should be at least 8 GB RAM and i3 processor is required minimum configuration. So the best part of Android is it's open source and it's by Google. So there is nothing we need to pay to develop the application using Android Studio. So what we can do is we can just download the Android Studio in our operating system, whatever operating system we are using, and we can start development using Android Studio. Okay, so very first to download Android Studio, we have to check developer.android.com, and there we can get all the related softwares as well as training course in the website as well. Okay, so let me go for developer.android.com here. Okay, so here it is. This is the official website of Android development or Android platform. Okay, so here we can see simply the download option in Android Studio website. Here we can download the executable file from here. So as per you can see in my PC it requires 761 MB, and we can download the application and we can install it in my device. Okay, so yes, so just press the download, agree for the term and conditions, and it will starting the download things. So this is a DMG file, and as this is a MacBook, so it will be DMG for my case. In your case it could be like you can install it via command, or you can install it via exe for Windows. Okay, so let me cancel it as I do already have this Android Studio. Okay, so once it downloaded, you have to install it as other application we install. Okay, so once you install it and once you run the file, you will see some icon like this. This is Android Studio icon, this one. Okay, so once you click this icon, you will see this window, but not the left side. Why? Because these all are the projects which I am working on, but you will see this as a blank, but this section will be available for you. Okay, so how you can start is like you just click on start new session. or you can start a new Android Studio project. This is something like this, and you can select any kind of activity was a part of like our session, our training course. Okay, so you can select empty activity as for now, and I will explain you in my training session what activities and what the use of all these activities. Okay, so it will ask you for the name of the application. Package is something like it's a unique ID kind of things. So via package you can whenever you will publish your application, you can search your application by name. But we can see like there are applications which have same name. Multiple applications are there on store. So in that case, if we want to share our application link, so we can share our package name as well, so it's easy to find. Okay, another thing is location of the project where we are going to create that project, and language is something very important part in this session. So what language is, we are having two languages. One is Java, one is Kotlin. Okay, so for now I'm selecting Kotlin, but as per our training course, we are going to start with Java first, because concept of Java is must for Android application development. Okay, so Kotlin I'm going to select for now, and this is something I'm done with, and let's the project build. Okay, the project is going to build here, and you can see it's getting compiled. Like multiple files are getting created in this case, and all these files are getting compiled so that we can run our application. Okay, so this is the activity. Main activity is the name of this file, and this is our applications where we're going to work. Okay, so here we can test our application in our laptop or our PC itself. How we can do is, we have this icon here on top right, and we can press it. In your case, if you installed as a fresh executable file in your PC, so you will not find any virtual device, but here in my case I already have created a virtual device. So this is a virtual device which I'm going to run, and my application will be running into that virtual device. Okay, but I will explain you in detail how virtual device works in our session. Okay, so let me close it first, and it's already here, so I will play it, and device will be running here. Okay, so here it is introduction of Android Studio, how we can create a new application here. Applications having multiple components, which we will learn in our session. I will give you introduction of all the classes in this video itself. Okay, so here we have two files mainly for now. One is main activity, one is the layout file. Layout is something like which is visible to user. So layout file is something which is visible to user, and it contains multiple components, like you can see here, a text here, a parent here with constant layout, and a text here. Or what we can do is like we can use multiple components, and we can drag and drop simply the things here, or we can like simply write components, something like this. So you can see it becomes a button in this time. You can check. Okay, so XML file we are going to use for layout. Layout means which is UI, and the handling of that UI we are going to do with activities and other components of application lifecycle. Okay, so here it is. You can check. Okay, let me run it again. Okay, it will be running. Okay, So here you can see the activity is getting launched. Activity is having its own life cycle. So yes, here it is. So okay, it turns twice. You can see here button. Okay, so application has an activity is having its own life cycle where we can check, means when our application is available to user, available to interact with, and when application is getting on foreground, background, whatever. So all we will be learning that in our session. Okay, so what in our session is, let me tell you, it's a 18 days course. So in this course, what I'm going to introduce you with, very first is let me introduce you with here this topic. So why we are going to develop Android application only, why, what is the use mainly of Android. Okay, so after that we will be using Android Studio. Android Studio, we will learn use of all these files, like in this folder why these files are there, why these folders are there, why this file is there, and many more. Means it would be like something like introduction in detail of all files and Android Studio. Okay, so in Android Studio, like, we are not developing only Android applications, we are developing hybrid applications as well, which can execute on Apple devices, but that is separate thing. Okay, so something related to Android Studio, and after that we will learn Android application development one by one, component of Android applications in Android Android project folder structure, and why we are going to use which language. Like initially we will be learning Java. Why? Because Java is means a basic of Java is must to develop Android application. So we will start first with Java, and once we will done with Java, then we will learn why we can use Kotlin as well, and we will completely move to Kotlin for Android application development. Okay, so here is also in detail the file structure, like which things we keeps in which file, like manifest, why we use a manifest file, gradle files, XML files we just talked about, assets, like assets are nothing but like if we are using any images in our application, so how and what is the best practice we can use the assets in our applications. We can check, I mean we can use multiple fonts in applications, and how we can use that also we are going to learn in this session. And different colors, how we used to manage for different colors, and dimensions are something related to very important. As we can see, a lot of devices are there available for Android. So Android means multiple resolutions are there, so my application should not break on any device, or UI should not like distorted on any kind of devices. So we going to cover in this class. Again, we will learn Java in brief, like we have few topics in Java which we must need to learn about. And before we proceed for Android application development in detail, so first we will learn those topics and use of those topics in Android, and then we will check like what the topics are, like it contains object orientation programming language, object oriented programming language first, why we use class and object relations, why use threading, why collections use sets, data structure, and all these things. So we are going to cover in 2 days class here. After that is okay, so then we will start Android application development in detail. Detail means we will learn every necessary component in detail, use of that component, and what is the best way to use that component. So we will use to learn here about Android activity lifecycle, permissions, in Android, permissions is something very important in these days. We are seeing in every application. Suppose our application search or our application uses any camera, so first it asks us to like allow the application. If we allow the application the camera, then only that application can use. Okay, so here we're going to learn that part: fragment, intent filter, permissions, and here we will be going to start our live project. Live project is something a part of this training course. So in this training course itself, at the end you will having a best practice and a project in hand with you, where you can you can show these sessions or use of like all the classes in somewhere. Okay, so every class will have a part of quiz followed by a part of quiz. So quiz is something related to like a part which we have completed already. So on the basis of that, I will create some questionnaires with me, and you have to answer them. And you also can put your questions to me, and if I'm able to answer them, definitely I will give you a best answer. And if not, then I will try to give you answer in a next class. Okay, so in Android UI we are going to learn how we can create UIs, all the components of UI, how we can create lists, how we can create grids of items, and like how we binds a view with code and all these things. Also here we are going to put a quiz, like we will discuss all the topics which we already covered, and we will learn how we can like how and what a progress we are achieving in these topics. Okay, again this is something related to what the design pattern is. Design pattern is something related to how we going to modify, or how we going to put our files in our code. Like suppose I'm working on some code and multiple developers are also working on that code, so the code should be easy to understand to everyone, so that any developer can work on that code without interacting to me or minimal interacting to me. So that is something we can say Android design architecture. So we going to discuss MVVM in detail and introduction of MVVM and MVC also in this session. Okay, after that we will learn how we can show images from network. And network is something like we use multiple applications like Facebook and Twitter and all these applications, so we show images from server side. So we're going to learn it here, how we can show. And understanding how we can pass the data between components. Suppose I have multiple screens, like 10 screens are there, and I need to record every screen's data and want to pass one screen data to another data. So it will be here we will cover it. We will cover animations and styles, how we can style our applications. Okay, after that we will learn some important useful components of Android, like how Android service works, and how a background task we can perform in Android, what Android broadcast receiver, and what Android notifications. Notifications is something we can see in our top of our phone. Such kind of things like this we used to find in left side. Okay, sorry. So Android services, we're going to cover Android memory and performance optimizations, how we can create an application which is best for users. Also It supports all the things of Android available in phone, like it should not take too much memory in mobile. It should not like hang on some point, or user should not like get irritated with the applications used. Okay, so that is the part we're going to use here. Also, after that, this is the main session where we learn the things, all the things. We will cover all the things we learn in these all session. And here we're going to learn mainly for our live project. We will finish our live project here. It will contain locations, how our Android mobile use locations, and our code get current location, or what kind of locations we can get. Google Maps we are going to introduce in this session. Data caching is something like we can keep some data in our applications. We can use multiple things to store the data. We can use any kind of database. We can use something named with shared preferences. We can use that thing also. So we're going to learn that thing in this session. Also, after that, if our projects need something which is not available as an Android component, it should be available in Android component, but the thing is, like, suppose something is there and which is too highly and qualified component. Suppose I'm using Facebook in my application, so Facebook is not available in Android by default. So I will use Android Studio, but I will use Facebook SDK in that case. So how we can use Facebook in our application? Facebook is there, like multiple libraries are there. So how we can use library projects in our application? We will learn that part also. Camera, how we can access camera, and how we can access files from our device. And after that, a very important part comes, which is web services. Web services is something like, suppose I'm accessing network, or you can say suppose something is on server and I have to access that. Suppose you are creating an application and you have to do what is, you have to first register, and after that again you will come on application, you have to log in that. So you are saving your data to server. So how we going to interact with server? So we'll learn that part in this session. Web service. Okay, and all the requirements for web services. We will use a retrofit library. Retrofit is very useful library. We will learn in detail in our session. And we will check if our application contains or our project contains all the things which we learn. And what we will do is, in this last session we will do final touch in our live project. So basically our live project will be ready with the module, but they are login, registration, a list of users will populate who all are registering in our application first. After that, we will show users locations, maps, and all these things. And after, at the end, also a quiz is there. So you have to share the feedback of classes, and also the quiz will be part of class session, so that you can understand how much we learn in all sessions and how the progress of us is in this course. So thanks for watching this video complete. And to reach us more, please follow us on Ramasser training group. So in ramasser.com you can find detail of all this course. You will learn how we're going to proceed in our training course also there. So thanks for watching the video again. Thank you so much.